What is going on, guys? ISmileyzI here once again, and I know it's been a while since I've recorded an LP part. I apologize, but it's time to get back on with it. I got my Gatorade here, and I am ready to go. It's time for the second trial of case number 5.
So what do you think, Mr. Wright?
I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene.
Lana!
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret, I am as much in the dark about this as they are. This guy... We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. You found Officer Marshall's traces? Yes, found his traces. Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall?
We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, this guy? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. So yeah, if you remember last time, we found Detective Jake Marshall's handprint on one of the lockers.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Wow. This is one messed up trial. Say that again. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
And that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? I guess it's more admirable than not admirable?
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
Now, the witnesses in this trial aren't, like, completely obvious. I mean, I guess you could figure it out if you think about it, but... For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Yep, the murderer. He did it. He's the perpetrator. Case closed. He's guilty. Let's just get this over with. And there's Mike Meekins. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. See? I told you he did it. He even confessed.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is...
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults cannot possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir, as you wish.
After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir.
You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
Yep. That's one crime report, sir. Yeah, that's you can't fault him for that. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you faded and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, he quote-unquote helped him. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. So basically,
Press everything!
hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. That is a scary thought. It's like if Gumshoe was in charge of hiring new detectives. Oh god. Just the image of that. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. Oh no, not this theme. No! No, go away. Oh, it's gone. Whew.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the awards ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went into the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
Hold it!
In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is. I found it. This is the one right there, right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4849899596. That's my number, sir.
I see.
Huh? But the number 4849899596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay. So we got Mike Meekin's name on there. If you remember, I went to the... Did I do that? Can't remember. If I went to the detention center trying to get Meekin's ID number. Yeah, you actually get that during the trial. So, my bad.
Hold it!
I'm just gonna say hold it in a different tone of voice every time. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You weren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain it. That image. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. You did? Well, if you grab the man by his collar, your hand should be bloody, right? I guess if he used his other hand, it wouldn't, but...
Hold it!
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? But, Phoenix, it's so specific. How could you not know what he's talking about? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife?
I spun around and performed a disarming maneuver. Hoo-yah! I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
Close his eyes like a man.
I see. He must have been desperate.
Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then
the next thing I knew. Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir.
Oh man. But he said that there is blood on there was blood on the detective's shirt, which will become very, very important later, I think. But what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
Pain! Pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
Sure, Judge. Sure.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. Whew, that Blue Badger is safe. Actually, no.
I mean, Blue Badger needs to die. Die, I say. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The Chief? Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. At least he's good at something. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Well, this is rated R because there is a murder here, obviously. God damn it, why is that big-ass, stupid, blue thingamabob have to be standing right there? And of course, it has to stop the flag right on the man's face? Of course. Of course. This wouldn't be a security video in Phoenix Wright game if it didn't. Again, right in front of his face. To be honest, it looked like the one who got murdered was Officer Meekins. Look at him. He's just slumped over in the corner. But yeah, if you look through the video, you'll see some very odd things. First of all, you see that the shirt is there when it wasn't before. You also notice that the light on the locker was on before he opened it. Two important things. Also, something fell out of the locker when he opened it as well, so. Oh, Edgeworth.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Yes, exactly.
Sir, that is a Pride and Joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Well, I, for one, don't like that videotape. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do.
The locker you opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Ugh. Excuse me, I apologize.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start, which means you have to present evidence. If he mentions contradictions, you have to present something. If he mentions anything about more information, it means you have to press everything. Let's see. Let me see if I can show you guys in the videotape. Where is that? Okay. So we could check. See that I can't actually pause the video. I don't know why. But you could see that clearly the light is on before anyone even opened it, which means that it was already open, even though it doesn't look like it is. But I'm not sure exactly what you have to present, or which statement you have to present it at. Alright, so we're just going to press some stuff first. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as
the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
What are the points? You are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when I'm talking with them, you see.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Well, clearly this is, he is a top police officer in his class, of course. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that.
That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins!
Having been shown a questionable video at best, where you're not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him.
Hold it!
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. Whatever kind of methods he has tried.
The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to his registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir, and this too.
Hold it!
How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. I'm also not surprised that Mike Meekins has romantic troubles. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprints.
Hold it! I think this might be the statement we have to present the video at. I'm not sure. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. So, sir, if I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Several, actually. The main problem is standing right in front of the lockers, dancing like a crazy badger. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Yeah, he would.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? How did he get the job of hiring new ones?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
I think it's the light. I think that's the first thing you have to do. You have to point out like 4 different contradictions in this one, but I'm not sure. I think it's the light on the locker. I think that's the very first thing you have to present. I may be incorrect on this. It may be something else, but take that! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. The blue badger is like the main thing that's wrong. Like if that wasn't even there, the photo would be, the video would be totally fine. I apologize, I need to drink some Gatorade real quick. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Why didn't you just point it out when the video got there, Phoenix? Why do we have to rewind? Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. The animation is so weird.
Order. What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. Objection! But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the electronic system. Something jam the sensor? Say. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. How about the giant blue badger in the middle of the goddamn videotape thing? God damn it. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect this video once more.
What did I just say?
Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this.
So, we're gonna fast forward a bit to when he comes and opens the locker, and bop! Notice! Something falls out of the locker. So, that's what it is. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Huh, no Blue Badger theme this time? Well, that's okay, I can handle that.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. How is that? How? How do you do that? We can't be sure that item was still in the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Why did he have to question that word? That makes it so much more innuendo-like. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, we understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get on my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But isn't your tie like tucked into your shirt? Your jacket or whatever?